My name is Rage and we are back today with another video guide and playthrough here for the daily challenge event being Medical Supply Run Tier 13. I am actually going to show you guys a 347k total team, keeping in mind of where the meta is right now in the game, as well as characters that mid-game as well as late-game players will likely have. But keep in mind too, although I'm using a total team power about 347k, you can definitely likely use it with a weaker team. I just, unfortunately, my characters were already built up at the time of recording, so I'll quickly show you guys who I am utilizing. First and foremost, Symbiote Spider-Man here, 92k. I do believe he's very, very powerful, but the key reason we want to bring him on board is actually he's one of the few characters that's actually available for the brawler and support traits that's needed for this challenge to actually have a stun. So for him, it's very notable. You can likely have a weaker Symbiote Spider-Man, but you can see I have mine built up quite a bit here, and really we're bringing him on board because of his stun as well as his defense down that applies a lot of extra additional damage for our allies when given the opportunity to do so. Next, synergizing with Symbiote Spider-Man is going to be Carnage, working hand in hand to give him an increased speed meter. You can see my Carnage is also built up as well because I utilized both these characters for Dark Dimension 3. So two characters that likely a lot of players will have in the game. Feel free to build them up because they're going to be a very key piece in getting you through the Medical Supply Run daily challenges, as well as them being available and whatnot, and them being utilized so much in the game. Might as well take advantage fully. Next, another key character I would recommend is actually going to be Minerva here. I can't say enough good things about Minerva in terms of where she is in the game right now, how utilized she is in Dark Dimension and all across all game modes. Just her having the ability to really revive and giving us that opportunity to increase our success rate of getting the 3-star unlock, especially if any of our characters fall. So that's really the key reason. Those are my top 3 that are going to be the core of this team, as you'll see. As the next 2 characters will be on the lower end because really they're not going to be adding too much to the combat. These 3 really are the core for unlocking these challenges, because what's going to happen is we're going to get Symbiote Spider-Man, Carnage synergizing with the enemies dropping below that health threshold, getting increased turn meter. Minerva's the nice cushion there to revive back and bring back any of our fallen allies. Next, I am going to utilize Beast here because a couple of things. He's quite tanky, he's great support, he's got a cleanse and healing, and on top of that, I'm a huge fan of his ultimate because if he's working with any other X-Men allies, as well as any of the notable traits here, Blaster, Brawler, and Canny, so forth, they get additional benefits as well. And you can see that he has an opportunity to apply defense up for any protector as well. So just really a boatload of benefits with Beast here. I'm bringing him on board actually to provide some benefits to his fellow mutant here being Shatterstar. And I like Shatterstar's kit because really he's self-sufficient even without having his counterpart on Longshot here. And the main reason being is because of the force of will that you do see here. I've T4'd it because of the fact that on each turn, he's actually able to heal himself for 20%. On top of that, he's got some great skills in terms of AoE damage and splash, and really a great character overall in the long term, especially with him likely being more available to the free-to-play. So hopefully you guys can get access to him sooner rather than later, but hopefully he becomes also farmable. Those are my 5 that I'm going to utilize. So with that being said, let's dive right in here to the challenge here. Just giving you guys a quick spiel here. There's other characters I would recommend, so we are to jump into this right now. I can show you on the left. I didn't want to bring on Ebony Maw, Mr. Sinister, or Anti-Venom because those 3 I do have built up quite a bit. And don't get me wrong, if you guys have them and they're not as built up, I definitely would recommend. But I just figured that this guide would be if you're trying to beat this with a lower team. So this is the lowest I can kind of get with the team I was given. But notable mentions here: Ebony Maw, Mr. Sinister, Anti-Venom, Shuri, Scientist Supreme are all great additions if you guys have access to them. I just wanted to kind of see if I can minimize the amount of investment if you guys can. So my core is going to be Symbiote, Minerva, as well as Carnage. That being said, let's dive into the gameplay and I'll show you guys how they can rumble. So starting off here, you do see that in order to actually win this round, fortunately, we do actually only have to take down the Heimdalls. And that's exactly why this team will really work, especially if Symbiote Spider-Man as well as Carnage. So you can see at the beginning, we are going to apply our damage there on Heimdall. We're going to be able to apply our defense down thanks to Symbiote's basic. And you can see that, he's already quite well low on HP, as you can see. And unfortunately, though, keep in mind, Strife is going to taunt in that bottom right corner. So do anticipate that. You can see, unfortunately, unfortunately, Shatterstar was wiped out right away from the thing, but that's exactly why we bring in Minerva as the revive. And keep in mind, if you guys don't have Minerva, feel free to use Scientist Supreme or Doctor Strange. They also both have revive as well for the team. So I mean, they're great substitutes. You can see with one turn already done, unfortunately, one of the Heimdalls is done, but we anticipated that at least one of the turns would go away. We first now have to get through the taunt here from Strife, and that's exactly why I like bringing on Shatterstar, because he had that AoE splash damage that can take out clones around. So very nice to take out, especially since Ronan does summon a few. But once that taunt is down, that's when I can feel confidence in being able to resume that synergy of Symbiote, Spider-Man, and Carnage. You can see how quickly and how powerful they take down these enemies because, again, my guys were built for Dark Dimension 3, but I want to illustrate how easy it really is, especially with those two characters. So even if you have those two built up and you just need a little bit of luck, you can see they're just taking down Heimdall like it's nothing. And again, it's because how strong they are, but definitely you guys can utilize a lower team power. Unfortunately, I just couldn't. My guys are already built up at the time of recording, but it just gives you a sense in terms of the kind of guide you can utilize for your team for this, especially if you guys are playing earlier than me in the game and you haven't built up your characters quite yet. Understand the beautiful synergy of Symbiote, Spider-Man, and Carnage really being able to focus in on an enemy, and the lower health they get, the increase in speed meter, and that's the really great advantage you have, as well as having characters such as Minerva giving that revive if anything goes south. So now at this point, because Colossus does have the taunt and the tanking and the death proof there, we're just going ahead and allocating damage accordingly. There is actually only 2 more Heimdalls left in this node, so not a big deal, but we're gonna go ahead and just keep spreading our damage accordingly. You can see how powerful they are. Once the thing drops, 8 out of 13 enemies remaining, that does spawn actually the next 2 Heimdalls here, and that's who we are going to target right away. You can see here as well, I didn't actually use Symbiote Spider-Man's stun just yet, and for a key reason. We're going to be actually saving it for the other Heimdall. So right now, we're focusing the left Heimdall, doing as much damage as we can. With the stun now, Symbiote Spider-Man, we're actually going to actually apply it to the second Heimdall to prevent him from being able to have a turn. I'm now going ahead and finishing off the third one. And last but not least, because of that beautiful speed meter increase from the enemies getting weak, you can see now we're going to go ahead and just repeat our attacks. And again, I want to illustrate here that although my guys are quite powerful, you can definitely do this with a lower power team, and that's what I want to illustrate. The characters you can utilize here, the key pieces will be Minerva, Carnage, as well as Symbiote Spider-Man. You can see how quickly we got that done. And again, my team was powerful, but you can likely do this with a much lower team. So thank you as always, guys. Hope this is able to provide insight for you in your further progression. As always, do appreciate you checking my videos, and I'll see you in the next one.